Come on in, everyone. Come on in so we can get in here and start talking about this Real Housewives of Atlanta. Get in here real quick, y'all, because let me tell you something. Paige and Dr. Bryant. Paige and Dr. Bryant. I know Dr. Bryant ain't got no PhD. She ain't no real doctor no more. But we need some help with KMichelle. We need all the help we can get. We will take a busted quack doctor who didn't finish her dissertation just to get some help around here because KMichelle, she needs some help. I don't know what's going on with KMichelle. I don't know if it's hormonal. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's insecurities. I don't know, but something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. These mood swings. At 1 minute she's sliding down the wall, crying, curled up in a ball in the corner, talking about she can't handle the ladies. Next thing I know, she's bucking up, fighting like she's on the streets of Memphis. KMichelle, girl, you got my head twisting over here, and I'm really concerned about you. I am really concerned. So, like I said, Paige and Dr. Bryant or somebody get a PhD over here so we can figure out what's going on with KMichelle. Cynthia was trying to do a good thing. Cynthia was trying to have this gala with this vodka gala, or is it tequila? Is it tequila? Is it vodka? One of the two. She was just trying to have a nice event. She said, listen, I'm an OG. I'm going to show y'all how to plan a getaway vacation so that way, I can pass the torch on to y'all. So we're going to go to Dallas. She said, let's call this Dynasty Meets Dallas. Well, girl, Cynthia, Dallas. I don't know. What's the hood part of Dallas? Cedar Crest, into the place where the hood is in Dallas. Maybe it's Dynasty meets Cedar Crest or Park Row. Something. I didn't live in the hoods in Dallas because let me tell you, there was some ghetto-ness going on here. It wasn't all sophistication. I know later on they drip it in diamonds, but I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have had diamonds on. They probably should have had cubic zirconia because the way these ladies acted this episode was crazy. But I'm enjoying it. It's good TV. I ain't gonna lie. It is good TV. I am thoroughly entertained. So any of y'all who are not watching it, y'all need to start watching it. You need to watch the show and watch my videos too. But when they first started off the show, once again, we had to pick up where we left off last week, and that was Kelly telling Porsha that Porsha tried to scissor her. Porsha tried to scissor her. And next thing I know, Porsha was telling the story that no, that's not how the story went. We was all in Grenada vacationing. I don't know what she's talking about. And next thing you know, Porsha showed her little kitty cat to Kelly. I don't know if it was accidentally on purpose. She didn't care. And she said all of a sudden Kelly looked at her kitty cat like, ooh, I want some of that kitty cat. Porsha, I don't believe you. Portia's over sexualized. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. Porsha is over sexualized. And she uses her sex appeal and her body to get things from people. I don't know what better way to say it. Is she good at it? She is good at it. She's good at it with women and men. We're finding out that Porsha knows how to work a man and she knows how to work a woman, right? She knows how to do both. Portia's got that thing where she can make you do things with her for her body that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily do. And she loves it because Porsha likes to be desired. She really does. But I think she's a bit over sexualized, y'all. Everything is about sex with Porsha. I'll be honest with you, this relationship she has with Sway, honestly, y'all, I think a lot of it is rooted in sex as well. Does that mean they don't have nothing in common? No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Next thing I know, Kelly's saying, listen, first of all, I would never say I wanted to look at your kitty cat, lick your kitty cat, do anything with your kitty cat, because I'm not even into girls like that. And I believe Kelly. I really do. I mean, a lot of stuff comes out Kelly's mouth. She likes to complain. She likes to talk about people. But this time, Kelly, I really believe you. I don't think Kelly is into women, right? I don't think she's into women. And like she told Porsha, you like to sleep with married men. And Porsha told Kelly, so do you. What's going on in Atlanta? We got sex dungeons. We got husbands in basement, wives in basements. We got everybody sleeping with married men. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah down there in Atlanta. Y'all, what is going on, y'all? Do we need to just burn the whole city down or what? Because they over here talking about the rolls, and a lot of them said, that rolls, that vibrator, the rolls, they had to get rid of that because it was desensitizing them in the bed. That's what Porsha said. Sexualized Porsha said that it was desensitizing her, so she had to get rid of it. All the ladies talking about, yeah, when I used that rose, I was coming in 30 minutes. Shamia talked about she had her whole bed sheets wet. I guess they thought that was all so funny, but they said we had to give up that rose. We had to put it away because once you do the rose, you're not going to be satisfied with no human man, nor no human woman. You would just be unsatisfied. So all the ladies said they had to put it up. They said it was too dangerous, too dangerous. But they was doing a whole lot of drinking. They was doing a whole lot of talking about sex and everything else. And next thing you know, Pinky is in the bathroom throwing up. Or should I call her Fuchsia? For like I told you the last time, I'm gonna call Pinky Fuchsia because once again, she's doing too much. So first of all, she did too much in the prayer. Second of all, she did too much with that business, spending too much money, trying to expand too fast. She does too much when she's talking. Now we realize she does too much when she's drinking. Does Pinky Fuchsia know moderation at all? Does she know moderation at all? Or is she only one gear? Pedal to the metal, gassing it, go as fast as you can, and then she crashes and she burns. Oh, Pinky, how old are you, Pinky? You're old enough now to learn these lessons because this whole crashing and burning is not a good look. Get a hold of yourself, Fuchsia. Get a hold of yourself. But Cynthia was a good friend. She went in there looking after Pinky, went in there and got her some ginger ale to help, soothe her stomach. Tomorrow, you need some bread. She goes, no, bring me some ginger ale. Um, but while they were sitting at the table, all the other ladies continued to have a good time. While Cynthia was in there looking after Pinky throwing up in the bathroom, in a public bathroom. That's the worst, y'all. Throwing up in a public bathroom, a public nasty toilet that other people had their ass on, and you face down in the toilet where other people had their ass. Pinky, you too old to be over drinking. Know your limits, girl. Like I said, too much Pinky leads to me calling you Fuchsia. But next thing you know, we sit at the table and the girls are gonna order some oysters. And Portia's over there checking the oysters with her fork, talking about this is a good vagina, this is a clean vagina, and all this other kind of stuff. And at first I was like, what is Porsha talking about, a clean vagina? I just thought one more time, this is about the over sexualized Porsha still talking about sex because that's what she likes to talk about. Um, but later on, we find out that it was triggering KMichelle because I guess it was triggering KMichelle because back in the day, some ex-boyfriend said that her vagina stank. So I guess when Porsha was over there picking at the oysters, KMichelle was trying to say that Porsha was subliminally talking about her. KMichelle says she see dead people. She says she sees dead people. She says, you don't think I see you? You don't think I see you, dead people? I see you. I'm reading all of you. I'm reading in between the lines. I'm reading all the signs. You may not say it, but I know it's happening. Girl. KMichelle, you are really starting to worry me. You are. I'm getting concerned about this marriage, y'all, because I don't know how anybody could live with a person who has this much paranoia, who has this many mood swings, who always feels like they're the victim, and who's always crying and in despair. And as much as she talks about how tough she is from Memphis, she sure is having a hard time with these ladies. I mean, to tell you, you from Memphis, you from the streets, but yet you are crumbling over the fact that Porsha poked an oyster and said this is a clean vagina. Girl, this is what takes you down. No one don't even need to throw no punches at you. We're talking about you from the hood. How are you from the hood? How are you from the hood, KMichelle, and you can't even handle Porsha, who's over here poking at some oysters? This doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I'm worried about KMichelle. KMichelle says she's trying to be holy. She's trying to hold her tongue. So she can't really even engage with the girls because basically she's saying that if she starts talking, she might just lose it. What kind of way would you lose it, KMichelle? In tears or in anger or both? Probably both. The first 5 minutes would be tears. The next five would be anger and yelling and screaming and cussing everybody out. The next thing you know, she'd go back to the tears. Like I said, this sort of up and down, I think it requires more than therapy. I think it requires mood stabilization. Like I said, where's Dr. Bryant? There's been a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists tuning in to social media about mental health. Ain't this Mental Health Awareness Month or something close to it? Um, we all need to be looking out for KMichelle. Like I said, she says right now she's struggling. She's really struggling with the ladies. She says because you ladies beat up on each other too much and I can't take it. So now here's the sensitive KMichelle. She says just watching other ladies beat up on each other makes her cry. Girl, we saw you on Love and Hip Hop. Who is KMichelle fooling? I'm telling you, she's all over the place. How many different personalities does KMichelle have? Even Porsha went over there while she was crying and said, Porsha apologized um, and said to Kelly, because Kelly liked to keep it going. Porsha said, okay, listen, Kelly, I want to make up. I don't want no beef with you because I don't like the way it's making KMichelle feel. So I apologize and I take all my words back. And Kelly said, no, thank you. I want to keep fighting. Kelly said, no, thank you. I don't accept your apology because I want to keep this fight going. So this is the thing, KMichelle. KMichelle has aligned herself with certain ladies, Pinky, Kelly, Shamia, and who else is on her clique. But yet Kelly is the one of the main ones that likes to fight, KMichelle. So girl, you stuck between a rock and a hard place. I really don't know what's going on. Next thing you know, KMichelle is trying to explain why she's a bit standoffish to Drew. And this is what really just got my head spinning. Next thing you know, she's back talking about this man, Black, talking about Drew was running around trying to say that she was with Black. No, Drew didn't say that. Drew did not say that, KMichelle. I see dead people. KMichelle sees dead people. She must talk to dead people, and she makes up conversations in her head because nobody heard Drew say except one time, "Oh, Black." And she said it because when you was on the phone with Black, you did act like you kind of knew him. But it's not like she's going around telling some whole story that you slept with Black or you knew Black or you dated Black. Last time you was trying to show us text messages from Black from 2024. So the truth of the matter is you do know Black. If you were bringing up text messages or DMs from Black from 2024, that's what I saw 2 episodes ago. I think it's fair. It's very fair for Drew to say, Black. She didn't say, ooh, Black. She didn't say like you knew him intimately. Didn't nobody say that? KMichelle is over here so worried that her new husband might think she slept with Black. Girl, that is the least of your worries that you slept with Black. That's his least of his worries. I'm going to tell you right now, that man, that dentist, I know he stays at work, like I said, as long as I said last time. Because coming home to KMichelle and her mood swings, and I see dead people, and I hear dead people's conversations, that makes that man want to go back to work and do a root canal or a dental implant or something else. I know he does. I know he does. This is dangerous, KMichelle. Get some help. Drew tried to explain and say, girl, I only said it one time. I only said it one time. And KMichelle is going off talking about you act like I date multiple people. Drew never said none of that, KMichelle. Where are you getting this conversation from? What voices are you hearing? Like I said, therapy, mood stabilization. These are just a few suggestions I have. Like I said, I'm not no medical therapist or medical doctor, but I know something needs to be prescribed. I know a person who needs a prescription when I see one, and KMichelle needs a prescription. Okay? Um, KMichelle then starts going on trying to counsel Shamia and tell Shamia she need to let the beef go with Drew. What? You just was beefing with Drew. Now you're telling Shamia she needs to stop beefing with Drew. Like I said, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Maybe KMichelle has been hanging out with Phaedra in the funeral home. And next thing you know, maybe KMichelle's over there talking to the dead people in the funeral home. Because I'm telling you right now, she don't make sense. In one way, she's telling people, don't fight, don't fight. But the very people you telling Shamia not to fight with, you fighting with, girl. What are you talking about? You telling Shamia to calm down, but you turned up to a level 10? Talking about you from Memphis and telling Shamia you must not be from the hood, because if you was from the hood, you'd be walking a whole different kind of way. Well, walking like you from Memphis? Because this ain't no good walk. Don't be walking crooked like this. Don't be telling nobody to walk like you, KMichelle, because your walk is crooked. It really is. But Shamia says she's tired of people bringing up the fact between her and Porsha. She's tired of it. She don't want to hear it no more. This is what's triggering her. She said every time she turned around, somebody's bringing up Porsha. And Shamia says, I don't want to talk about Porsha anymore. Well, I don't know what you're going to do, Shamia. Porsha is a headliner on the show. I don't know how long you're going to be able to go the whole season without talking about Porsha. You better rethink your role on this show if you believe that you can have any type of longevity on Real Housewives. If you're going to continue to avoid the Porsha conversation. I don't even know what they was fighting about. I don't even know why they broke up being friends. Later on, we find out it's because Shamia says she felt the friendship was lopsided. I guess she was saying that she felt she gave more to the friendship and Porsha took more. I believe it. Porsha takes from everybody. Porsha's a taker. Porsha is a taker. So of course relationships are going to be lopsided with Porsha. Every relationship Porsha's in is lopsided because she's a taker. And the reason and the way she gets you to give to her is through sexual interaction, sexual exploitation, sexual everything. That's how she gets you and that's how she takes from you, and once she exploits you, she throws you away. My goodness, haven't we seen enough of the patterns to know what Portia's pattern is? So if you get bit by Porsha, if you get taken by Porsha, it's because you wanted to. You got enough history, enough of her past to see how she operates. So do I believe um, Shamia when she said that she was given more in the relationship than Porsha was given? Yes. And can I believe the second part when they said, Angela said, she said, well, why don't you talk to Porsha about it? And Shamia said, well, I'm afraid. I believe it because she was afraid to lose the friendship. That's how it works between takers and givers. Givers give to takers because Shamia liked being around the electric personality of Porsha. Porsha has magnetism. She attracts people. She attracts good things. And Shamia likes being around that. So Shamia's price of admission in Porsha's life was to give to Porsha overwhelmingly. And Porsha took from Shamia because what Porsha is saying is, girl, I know you just want to be in my presence. So yeah, you need to give me something to be in my presence. That's the way giving and taking looks. Now you can change the dynamics. You can. But Shamia, girl, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. But later on, the next morning at breakfast, Pinky Pinky reemerged. She says she's feeling good. She says she was dehydrated because she hadn't drank enough water before she started drinking all that liquor. You probably had all that vegan food in you. You didn't have no meat and no carbs to suck up that alcohol. You know, I'm saying, shoot, this vegan diet, there's some drawbacks to the vegan diet. One of them seems to be you can't drink a lot. So I don't know why Pinky didn't know her limit. How long you been a vegan, Pinky? You don't know your limits? Goodness, this is just ridiculous. But KMichelle came down after a while. You know, she had to make a grand entrance. This is the whole next morning. The whole next morning. You mean to tell me, KMichelle, you went to sleep and then you still woke up with a hormonal imbalance? Your cortisol level didn't calm down while you were sleeping at night. It was still high and throwing off all your hormones. Girl, this is too much. She woke up with a bad attitude. She woke up. You know, it's really bad when nothing has to happen to put you in a bad mood or a bad attitude or depressed state or sad state. You just wake up feeling that way. uh, KMichelle woke up feeling bad. Came downstairs, everybody else is eating their vegetables and their fruit, but not KMichelle. She comes sits at the table, and next thing you know, she's bursting out in tears again, again, again. Goodness, goodness. It has there been an episode yet where KMichelle hasn't cried and broke down? I don't think so. I don't think we've seen one episode where KMichelle hasn't cried. And now she's running around talking about um she don't know why she's here and why she gonna care about these people because all these people are plotting against her to do wrong. And she said everybody's plotting against her, but she ain't mentioning no names. She ain't saying no specifics. She's talking all in code. Spit it out, girl. Spit it out. Can you even explain your complex emotions? Because we know they're complex. But now what I'm afraid about, K Michelle, is you don't even have the ability to explain your complex emotions. This is given very immature. This is given childlike, right? This is given a lack of ability to communicate like an adult. You see, this is what babies do, whereby they can't effectively use their words to communicate. So instead, what they do is they have outbursts. They cry, they yell, they scream. Use your words. Didn't your mama tell you that when you was young? Listen, use your words. But she couldn't talk. She said she's just too emotional to talk. She's talking in code. But she said, let me tell you something. I see all you dead people. I hear all you dead people. And I know you're telling all these little jokes behind my back. And she said, but I'm going to let you know whatever that person that's talking about me, you a low down motherfucker. That's what she said. And I'm thinking, dang, K Michelle, if you going to say all this, you might as well tell us who the person is. Spill it. Tell it. Who is it? What they say. Next thing you know, she said that when they got home for dinner, somebody, probably a dead person, somebody called her and told her that everybody was plotting against her. So the dead people are now using a telephone. They using a cell phone too. They just not coming up in your room at night and appearing as ghosts. They also calling you on the cell phone. And that was enough to make K Michelle have a sleepless night, plus get here in the morning and bust out in tears after she sat in that seat for only 5 minutes. Next thing we know, she's all up in arms talking about that of a disgruntled boyfriend who said her vagina smelled like sardines, and I think it was her BBL stank too. Or was that Cardi B? Who was the boy? Somebody had a boyfriend saying they BBL stank, right? But I know K Michelle said some disgruntled boyfriend said her vagina smelled like sardines. And she said this was over 7 years ago. 7 years ago, K Michelle, someone said this about you. It was a disgruntled boyfriend. And what you're saying is they was gonna plot and scheme to bring it up on this show. And you mean to tell me today, the wound of 8 years ago is still as fresh today? You ain't done no healing in 8 years. You don't have the ability after 8 years for someone to bring up that moment and say, girl, I don't give a flying F about what some Negro said about me 8 years ago. I don't even know where that person is, right? Why would that wound of some disgruntled, insignificant boyfriend saying something nasty about you still affect you to this degree? I mean to tell you, she has so many wounds, and she keeps thinking that what she's crying over is the present moment. No, you're not, K Michelle. You need to get to the root of all your hurt, your pain, your insecurities, your paranoia. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it cannot be about Porsha poking an oyster at a dinner. You got to be kidding me. All this over that, I just don't believe it, K Michelle. I don't believe it. And everybody was trying to say Shamia was the instigator. She was the one riling that K Michelle. No, don't blame Shamia. Shamia got her own thing she does wrong, but what we don't want to do is say that anybody has influenced KMichelle to be who she is, because this is who KMichelle is. It really is who she is. And Phaedra says she confused. I'm with you, Phaedra. I am confused too, and so is Angela. Everybody's confused because this behavior is bizarre. It is really, really, really bizarre. And all this plotting against her to bring. So what? Who cares? Who cares if they plotting and scheming? Like all the ladies said, Shamia says she believes they were plotting and scheming because that's what the ladies do. I believe it too because guess what? That's what the show is about. Plotting and scheming and coming up with storylines. So what made you think you was gonna come on here, KMichelle, and you wasn't gonna get plotted or schemed against? Give me a break, girl. Give me a break. Next thing you know, she running around cursing out everybody. And then the immature side of KMichelle tweets. So get this, y'all. She goes to sleep after the dinner. Somebody tells her there's a plot and a scheme, right? Her cortisol levels are high. She can't sleep. She's tossing and turning, right? She's disturbed, right? So, but instead of talking to the ladies about what she's disturbed about, she tweets it on Twitter or wherever else she tweeted it on. Instagram, I don't know, whatever it is. What? That's how you handle conflict, Michelle, KMichelle? That's how you have conversation. This is juvenile. KMichelle's like a 14-year-old. So you could talk about it on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it was, but you can't talk about it in front of everybody. It's too emotional to talk about it in front of people, but you can go ahead and start talking about it in code on social media. Girl, even Porsha was running around saying, "You know what, KMichelle? I feel guilty. I feel like I was the one who introduced you to the group. So if there's anything I did to you, just let me know." And KMichelle don't even have the nerve to tell Porsha, "Yeah, you the one. You one of the main ones I got a problem with." But instead of KMichelle confronting Porsha, what she does is she goes after Drew. You know what? I really didn't understand everybody going after Drew in this episode. I really didn't think Drew was doing that much stuff. I really don't. You know, but then K Michelle's fighting back. I guess it's Chi Town meets Memphis because Drew is from Chi Town. Chi Town meets Memphis. And next thing K Michelle starts talking about is don't be talking about her vagina because she's gonna have a whole lot of things done to her vagina. Tightened, tucked, everything else. Girl, that's too much information. And that ain't nothing to brag about. That ain't nothing to brag about, talking about how you done had 6 or 7 surgeries on your vagina. Why would you need 6 or 7 vagina surgeries on your vagina? You only got one child. Is it stretched out that much, K Michelle? You starting to make me believe that everybody what Drew was saying was true. You starting to really scare me. 7 surgeries on your vagina? Girl, why does K Michelle like going under the knife so much? She don't like nothing about herself. She don't like her boobs. She don't like her butt. Now we find out she don't even like her vagina. Damn, girl. No wonder that man said it smelled like sardines. Shamia's upset. She's like, don't be blaming me. I'm not the one that started this. I'm not gonna be no fall guy. She running around showing her BBL with her booty out in the thong bikini. That's inappropriate. Ugh, it's so inappropriate, Shamia. I mean to tell you, what does Shamia's husband think? I mean, I know he didn't come to this gala, this ball. He don't never show up for nothing. But does he even watch the episodes? I don't know. Married women, does your husband want you walking around in a thong bikini like that? I don't know. Even if you do got a nice booty. It just seems like it's a bit much. It really is just so much attention seeking. I don't get it, Shamia. I really don't get it. But she called a meeting with her thong bikini and her big old booty out, talking about I want to talk. I don't want to be the fall girl. And she tells K Michelle, you're gonna have to tell everybody that I wasn't the one that got you riled up. You need to vouch for me. K Michelle says she's correct. It wasn't Shamia. Somebody else called me, you know. And she says, K Michelle says, I got a whole husband. I can't be having nobody run around talking about I was sleeping with black or whatever. And Drew once again says, I never said it. I never said that. You know, it was the dead people who said it, K Michelle. It was the dead people. Um, but next thing you know, they finally got up. They finally got dressed. They finally got draped in their diamonds, right? Next thing you know, Phaedra's flirting with the diamond man, talking about, are you married? Because Phaedra's looking for a rich old white man. But Phaedra, I think that man was hitting for the other side. I don't think he really likes women. I really don't think so. But Phaedra said that don't matter. He got diamonds, and I like him. But they did get to this gala. It was nice. First, they thought it was going to be rained out. They thought it was going to be a hurricane. No, the hurricane was not the weather. The hurricane was these ladies. That was the hurricane. It was Hurricane KMichelle. That's really what was going on. But in the end, the event was nice. It was tequila tasting party went well. Finally, we got to see Dynasty meets Dallas, or maybe Dallas Fort Worth. We was out of the hood. Maybe we only made it to Dallas Fort Worth. I don't even know if we made it all the way to Dallas yet, Cynthia. But okay, they was wearing their expensive jewelry. They had a police escort because that jewelry was worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Probably between all the ladies put together, it was definitely millions of dollars worth of jewelry. And they had police escorts escorting them with that jewelry on. But they made it. Some of the husbands made it. Like I said, everybody except Charles Oakley, he didn't make it, and neither did Shamia's man. He didn't make it either. But even Portia's boyfriend for hire made it. Mike Bless, he made it. So I don't know why she didn't bring the lesbian lady. Maybe that's coming later on in the episodes. But they had a little fashion show who had on the best outfit. And Angela was reading all of them. They said, let me tell you something. When people get drunk around here, it gets crazy. When KMichelle gets drunk, she cries. When Pinky gets drunk, she throws up. And when Porsha gets drunk, she fucks your husband. That was the best line of the whole episode. Angela be having some reads, y'all. She really does. And in it all, y'all, Drew didn't even make it to the gala. She was up there getting her glam on. By the time she made it to the gala, it was over. She was over 4 hours late. Can you believe it? 4 hours late. The whole trip to Dallas was to come to this gala. And somehow or another, Drew was 4 hours late. She missed the whole thing. I hope they took her pay. I hope Real Housewives of Atlanta docked her pay, right? She better stop missing scenes. She knows she got a mortgage to pay over there with her husband. He already kicking her out of the house. You got bills to pay. You got bills to pay, Drew. You can't be missing no hours at work. Girl, you better clock in on time next time. But that's all we got, y'all. So I will talk to you later. Bye.